So when it came time to think about my leadership feedback assignment and what kind of survey I was going to write, what questions I was going to ask, I thought a lot about the different kinds of leadership there were out there and how I viewed myself. I ended up framing all my questions around authentic leadership because when I considered myself as a leader, I think mostly about leaders that I have worked under that were either good leaders and things that I wanted to do like them, or leaders that I wish they had done some things differently. So that's why I decided to select questions based around authentic leadership, just because I felt like that would give me a good baseline before I went further into other kinds of leaderships and things like that. Obviously, that is another survey and things to send out, but I felt like this was a really good baseline to help me figure out ways that I'm being successful as a leader and ways that I could improve. I was really interested to see the answers from my survey that I sent out. I decided to do it in Google Form. I was going back and forth between doing it in Google Forms and doing it in Qualtrics. And I ultimately decided that I thought that Google Forms would be more user-friendly to the people that I was sending it out to. Easy to fill out. It could be right in the email body. Whereas I wasn't really sure what that would look like for Qualtrics. Looking back, I actually think I might have sent it out in Qualtrics and just sent a very detailed instructions on how you fill it out and how you would use it if there was any issues, etc. But just to be able to use their data analytics tools, whereas in Google Survey, you kind of can just pull it to an Excel doc. But I was able to do what I needed to do, and I thought it was really, interesting. The answer that I got, the question that I asked that got the only unanimous answer was if I hold myself and others to a high moral standard, and everyone said always, and I thought that that was really really good to hear. That's something that I personally pride myself in and I think is really important in a leader, so I'm really glad that that translates into all aspects of my life, personal, professional, and academic. The question that I asked that got the most diverse answer were if I let pressure control my decision making, and I got some always and some never, which I thought was really interesting. And it was interesting for me to look and see who was answering what, and it really made me think about if the people that said never, if they just are unaware of my personal life and so therefore don't know the pressures and don't know that they exist and therefore might be influencing my decision. So I thought that that was really interesting. My answers, aside from that, were pretty, the ranges were pretty close in what people were saying. I really appreciated seeing what different people in my life said, depending on how they knew me, how long they knew me, who they were to me, etc. I wish that I was able to ask more professional people, but I've never had a job, so I've been in school my whole life, so I don't really have a lot of professional contacts. So I would love to be able to do this again a little bit further down the line and kind of see how that looks for me in more of that professional setting. Additionally, I know that for the context of what we were looking at, we asked for their name and information about how long they've known us and stuff like that. I wish that I had asked how they view their closeness of their relationship with me, like if it was very close, not close, so on and so forth, because I am able to consider what I think, how close we are in our relationship, but I would be interested to see how others view how close they think they are to me and if that influenced any decisions. I also think that because I asked for their name and things like that, people were not as honest with me as they should have been. I think people were a little bit too nice, except for like maybe my mom. But I think that people just didn't want to hurt my feelings, no matter how much I reiterated to them that their answers don't affect my grade, my feelings won't be hurt, this will really just help me be a better leader, a better person. I think that they just didn't want to hurt my feelings. And yeah, so I would be interested to see how this would be done anonymously. But all in all, I really learned a lot. I think it's really helped me kind of see where I need to grow as a leader and what areas I'm excelling in, like the holding myself to a high moral standard. Where I found that I need to work on is asking for help when I need it, not being afraid to admit that I don't know something. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, and I kind of had an inkling that that's something that people would point out, but it's always interesting to see how what you view your strengths and weaknesses as compared to how others view you. So overall, I thought that this was super helpful and insightful, and honestly, I'm really interested to do it again. I think I would do it anonymously, but once I have, my first career and can ask people that are my peers, my superiors, my subordinates, etc., just to see kind of how I stand in that light.